Hi everyone, this is Arcadius and welcome back to Naval Creed. Today we'll be reviewing the final mission for the world missions, and that is 4-4 or the Battle of Midway. Now I was originally going to use Iowa today because of her strong anti-aircraft power, but I found it wasn't enough. And so we're going to try and use Worcester again because of her unmatched ability for AA defense. And we're going to see if we can have a good game with her because the game I had in Iowa didn't really show the good way to deal with the mission. I was just kind of swamped by carrier aircraft, and then that was the end of that. So we're going to try and be pretty decent, at least in this battle. So let's see what we can do. Right off the bat, you're going to see it's going to be a very U-focused game. You have three Yorktowns in the form of Lexingtons in game, with a mix of New Orleans and Pensacola's, Atlantas, and there's actually a couple of Clevelands as well, but you can't tell. And then we have some Sims and some Farragets. And on the other side, we have four carriers in the front way of Kaga, Akagi, and two Hiryus, eight battleships as a Yama, and two Nagatos, two Fuzos, and actually three Kongos. The Izes are also Kongos. Three light cruisers in the form of Kumas, and then a ton of destroyers. But yeah, eight battleships, four carriers, that's a lot of firepower to go up against. Now with the Iowa, I was able to take out the battleships relatively easily, and to an extent, I could do that with the destroyers and the light cruisers. But the carriers, they just have so much aircraft. The Kaga and Akagi alone have about 90 planes, let's say, and the two Hiryus have 76, so about 80. So between both of those, that's almost 300 planes, I'm pretty sure. And not all of those are strike aircraft, so counting for fighters, that might be about 200 strike aircraft. But even then, that's a lot of strike aircraft to deal with, and you really need to be at the front of your group to try and protect them with your AA defense. I'm only going to be protecting the cruisers. The destroyers are not going to do that much, honestly. So we're going to sit here in front of our cruisers and try and protect them as much as we can. And also try not to be focused on. And the reason why we're trying to protect our group, even though it's not that strong, is because they take the focus away from you. So while the other ships are shooting them, you're free to start working on over other ships. I am full anti-aircraft defense Worcester, so even if I'm not popping a defensive AA, I am going to still be taking down planes, and that is quite appreciated. And we're going to try and not be the main focus of anyone, because we need our health. We still are a light cruiser no matter how powerful our AA is, and we need to survive as best we can. Right, at the beginning here, you just have to find a couple good targets. I've had good luck trying to just burn down the battleships a little bit, and then come back to them later on. The good thing about Worcester, she has an unlimited AA defense, and we're actually going to pop one right now. And that means that no matter how many times you use it, as long as it's off cooldown, you can continuously use it. And we just wiped out the entire group there of aircraft, like taking some more out. Alright, time to work on these battleships a little bit. Did that Nagato ever get a fire? Yes, she did get a fire. Alright, let's see if we can get one on this Nagato as well. The carriers are to the north, so you will have to kind of make your way there eventually. One fire for you. Congo is already burning. Alright, let's get out of range of these torpedoes here. Without defensive AA, all we have is our base AA damage to try and protect our teammates, which is quite powerful, but is sometimes still not enough. Alright, let's see here. You don't have a fire, you need one. Also, try and stay away from your friendly ships, as you just saw. I was not the one being shot at, yet I was still the one that ended up being hit. Alright, so we're going to go right into the fray of these aircraft and try and work on this carrier here. We're going to go after this carrier. And while we go that way, we're going to try and set a fire on this Nagato again. Looks like she was able to put it out. My defensive AA is almost off cooldown. I'm sure if you play this mission enough times, you know the timing to use it. That way, when the next big wave comes out, you already have it off of cooldown. But I have only played this so many times, honestly. But we're still taking down aircraft. Deciding whether or not to... We're going to save our defensive AA now, because I'm going to be going up against the carrier, so I need it for myself right now. But we can still work a little bit more on these battleships. Alright, so that's as many salvos as I'm going to get for her. And we did get a fire. I'll take it. Alright, so let's see. Yeah, we're separated from the group now, but this is all in order to actually hunt down one of the carriers. Our defensive AA is ready for the next time we need it. Though that will only be when we are focused on, and I don't think we've caught the attention of more than one carrier yet. So I don't think it will be very worth it. Alright, cool. So there's one Hiryu. It looks like there might be two carriers over here. Let's go investigate. And popping a defensive AA. And another heal. I don't really want to use a heal, but we're kind of getting low. Alright, and let's just see how much aircraft we can take out. And I don't want to use a repair either, because if I get a flooding, that'll hurt a lot more. Alright, so that should take you out. I did see the destroyer over here. Looks like there's a few more torpedo bombers coming our way, and we did attract the attention of another carrier, it looks like. So now we have to play dance around the torpedo while our defensive AA comes off a cooldown here. Alright, so we were able to survive those. Next is going to be these. So there's a destroyer over there. And it looks like there might actually be another carrier over here. Okay, so now we're just going to have to do donuts here for a second while we try and take down as many aircraft as possible. Would like a defensive AA now, definitely. So I can't do much against the dive bombers. Torpedo bombers, I'm going to try and dodge as best as I can. However, that's not always going to work. Ooh, I might end up, maybe just taking one here? Yeah, just one. Alright, and we did do a good number of damage on their aircraft. Destroyer is trying to shoot me too, that's funny. But you can just see the amount of AA power that these ships can dish out. It's really kind of ridiculous. Even with a full anti-aircraft Worcester, I'm still not able to knock down enough aircraft before they attack me. And of course, they still have to get in a couple dive bombers. Alright, so anti-aircraft defense is back up. I'm not going to use it against a couple dive bombers. I really don't like the fires. Alright, so there is the second carrier. Alright, we need you down for right now. Let's see, where's my ship? Okay, if we get close enough to these islands, we won't have to worry about these torpedoes. But we're still going to pop a defensive AA. Do our last heal as well. Did we actually take a torpedo? I thought we would be close enough to the island there. Alright, so we did work over the carrier a lot, but we need to finish her off. We did get another fire on her, however. Alright, so now we are out of heals. So unfortunately, what we have is what we have, and this is still against, well, pretty much 2 carriers, a ton of battleships, and yes, still a bunch of destroyers as well. Not much I can really do, but we are going to try and survive as long as possible. Hopefully these carriers will start running out of aircraft. That would definitely be nice. And we are able to get at least 2 carriers. So that does help us, but I'm down to me and 3 destroyers on my team. Of course, that was a flooding. So let's just try and dodge as best as we can. Which means just doing donuts the entire time. We took another one there. I think we might be safe from these ones. Maybe. Defensive AA is back up in about 30 seconds. However, I don't think I will last that long. Not when they drop me like that. I'm sure some of my AA defense has actually been destroyed due to dive bombs. Can we not take this torpedo? Nope, we took it. Alright, defensive AA is up. We need to knock down as many of these planes as possible. Because we don't have the health to do anything anymore. And even the one dive bomber that was coming in could have killed us. And I definitely don't have enough health to take on any kind of battleship. Alright, so we have about 200 kills now, so the strike group of the enemy carriers should actually be very, very much depleted. However, I do only have one destroyer left. That's what I was trying to say. And it looks like they still have full squadrons. Oh, there's a ton of destroyers over here. Yeah, if you have, like I said, in the team, if you have enough ships for focused on AA defense, and someone else can go ham on all these other ships, then that'll definitely help you. Let me see if I can take out... Oh, no. We were sunk by a destroyer. So after all of that, we were still sunk by a destroyer. Yeah, that's pretty much the Battle of Midway in a nutshell. Just overwhelming anti-air or air defense. And then if the carriers don't kill you, the battleships will. And if those don't, then you have to hunt down all the destroyers, which are technically not hard. That being said, there is still quite a few of them. And our last little farragut here will go down momentarily as it is facing an entire wall of battleships here. Yeah, this mission is pretty much impossible to complete solo. I did say that at the very beginning, and I will say it again because I really don't know how you can solo clear this mission. You need a team. As many team members as possible. You can split them up to different areas. You can have one for carrier defense. If you have two Worcesters and you alternate defensive AAs, that'll definitely help you. If you have a Montana to take care of the battleships, that'll also definitely help you. Heck, even maybe a destroyer like a Shimakaze to try and do some long range torpedoes on the battleships and other destroyers and stuff. That also might be nice. I don't know if a carrier of yourself would be okay. I only say that because there's so much enemy air power and there's so many targets. Even if each target individually has terrible AA, combined, I don't think a carrier would do very well. But let's see how we did. Damage-wise, we only had 211,000 damage, 3 ships sunk, 253 shell hits, and 14 fires, but we were able to shoot down over 200 aircraft. Yeah, I mean, you can do what you can. We were able to take out 2 of the carriers as well. So we were able to take out half the carriers, but besides that, there's not much you can really do. We had 126,000 damage in high explosive and 85,000 damage from those 14 fires. Damage-wise, we took only 1,400 damage in high explosive main shells and a 16,000 damage in armor piercing for the Lucky Citadel or whatever we had hit earlier. Torpedoes did almost 50,000 damage. Fires and floodings did 20,000 damage. I tried to mitigate as much flooding damage as possible. And then bombs did 16,000 damage to me. So you can easily see how those torpedoes are definitely going to be a problem. With that, that does complete all world missions. Well, but I was sunk a lot quicker than I was in Worcester. It took me about 8 minutes to be sunk, honestly. If you actually wanted to see that game, though, I didn't do too much more damage, only about 293. And yeah, I was able to work over the battleships a bit better with the battleship, but when it came to the carriers, I was completely underpowered. So yeah, recommend strong AA ship, recommend a team, do whatever you can to beat this mission. It is a fun mission, but it's just really, really hard. It's a lot harder than the Battle of Samar. I will wrap up today's video then. If you liked the video, make sure you like and subscribe and join me for tomorrow while we go over the second set of shells for Massachusetts. The most recent update, or the second to most recent update, gave us a new set of guns for Massachusetts and in Missouri, and we will be going over those next. So again, thank you and take care.